Welcome, everybody. College football week 5 is in the books, which means it's time to look forward to college football week 6. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we're going to take a look at 5 things to watch in college football week 6. Okay, as mentioned, we're going to go over 5 things to watch in college football week 6. Just kind of going to try to break down some of the best things to watch. This could be games, this could be matchups. It ends up a lot of times being games, but it gives me more liberty when I write these articles to kind of say 5 things instead of 5 games to watch. So let's get into it here. We'll start it off with the Red River rivalry. It's the last time this will be a matchup that's in the Big 12 between Texas and Oklahoma. There's a lot of hype around this game. We have, Texas is undefeated. They've scored 36 points per game, could be a possible playoff team, and a win in this game would give them even more of kind of like the head start in the Big 12 race here, as they would be beating one of the other teams in the Big 12 that could end up making the championship game in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 5-0, much better season than they had last year, at least to start, and I haven't really played the toughest schedule yet, but the offense has proven to be high-powered at 47.4 points per game. Brent Venables is also bringing the defense along at 10.4 points per game. It'd be an upset if the Sooners win, but I think with this rivalry, a lot of times things happen and make different results. Even in down years for these programs, it is a game to watch every year. But especially this year with so much on the line, the last year of the Big 12, Texas having some big hopes and expectations for the rest of the year. And Oklahoma starting off the season so well. I think there's a lot to watch in this Red River rivalry. I think Texas could win this one and keep the momentum going and keep the talk about Texas being back. Kentucky's upset bid / Georgia's first big test. So Kentucky's opened up the season 5-0. They're now ranked. They didn't have as many impressive wins through the first 4 games, but then they dominated a ranked Florida team in week 5. They did so in a very good fashion that was, running the ball a lot, and I think Raymond Davis, their running back, averaged 10 yards a carry. So now they're probably projected to be the second best team in the SEC East, as Florida has already beaten Tennessee and Kentucky's beaten Florida. It doesn't always work out that way. Kentucky could drop a game to, a bunch of teams down the road that could, make them not finish second, but they at least have a clear path to second place, or possibly first place if they beat Georgia. So Georgia's the projected front runner. They're 5-0. They've not played many big games so far this year. They did struggle against Auburn in week 5, which makes them look a lot more vulnerable here, especially because Auburn didn't have the best passing attack against them. So Kentucky will be the first game against a ranked team. It's a night game. Kentucky showed they could be physical. Georgia's defense may need to help lead them to a win because their offense has kind of struggled to figure things out. Carson Beck is still figuring his way as a starting quarterback. So this should be a really fun game to watch. Georgia was favored by more than 2 touchdowns when this game opened on the Vegas lines. I think we're thinking it might be a little bit closer than that. Now, Kentucky's going to need Devin Leary to step up in a way he hasn't really done this season yet. He's been, I would say, a little bit underwhelming, especially given the competition level that Kentucky's played so far this year. But if he can, find his footing and kind of open up the playbook, maybe something happens here. So it's just worth watching and see how they do in this big SEC East game. One of the last times we can say SEC East game, too, this season. All right, Notre Dame at Louisville. So Notre Dame lost to Ohio State, then rebounded on the road to beat Duke. An impressive last drive that was able to get them the win with an Audric Estime run where he just, broke off a run, kind of hid behind the line and broke off a run to help him get the win. Cool video of that on Notre Dame social media. You can see with the last drive. Now they go on the road to take on the undefeated Louisville Cardinals. Sam Hartman brought balance to the offense with a passing attack. Really opened things up for the running game, too. Audric Estime is having a very big year, and I think it's only been a help that Sam Hartman's been able to at least make the threat of the pass a bigger threat than it was last year. So defense deserves a lot of credit, too, with Marcus Freeman being a defensive-minded head coach. Allowed 15.5 points per game over their last 2 contests, and as mentioned, those were over Ohio State and Duke, who are pretty solid teams. Tough road game for Notre Dame, though, when they take on Jeff Brom's Louisville squad. Cardinals have defeated 4 Power 5 teams this season and averaged 37 points per game. Jack Plummer is on his 3rd college and has operated the offense solidly. This is his 2nd college where he's been with Jeff Brom. Also played for him at Purdue. He's played solidly, 1,406 passing yards. He'll have to play even better to get the Cardinals to win at home. Now, they've beaten 4 Power 5 teams, but they also haven't played the best Power 5 teams quite yet. This will be their biggest test of the season. Notre Dame should be able to win this just based on their physicality, but maybe Louisville has something up their sleeve. Jeff Brom is one of the more creative head coaches who is out there in college football. All right, Alabama and Texas A&M. Sorry, there's a little weird coding thing going on with the ampersand there. So no matter what the records are the last few seasons, Alabama has struggled with Texas A&M. Things could get dicey this season as well. The Crimson Tide haven't had great quarterback play this year, and the offensive line play has struggled, but maybe it shows sign of improvements the last couple weeks. They have a loss, which came to Texas, but they seemingly have started to get their footing going in the right direction after they made Jalen Milroe the starter once again. We'll see if they can keep that up. Texas A&M, rough start to the season last year, and are mainly trying to revamp the offense this year. So far, so good, 38.6 points per game. So far, the Aggies have lost to Miami this season, otherwise unblemished. The new offense is going to be put to the test against Alabama. Texas A&M will be starting backup quarterback Max Johnson in place of the injured starter Connor Wegman. Make things tougher for them, but Alabama's only favored by a couple points here. It could be a really good game to watch, and as mentioned, they always struggle with Texas A&M no matter what the records are, so keep this one kind of, on the back of your mind here. There's other games that maybe take more precedent, but this thing starts getting close. Maybe this game jumps to the front. This could be a big game because if Texas A&M wins, Alabama will have two losses during the first week of October. They'd be virtually out of the college football playoff race unless crazy things happen, and even then, it's going to be hard for them to regain that composure. It could be the one two-loss team who would ever make the college football playoff. So there's a lot of implications here, and obviously we know Jimbo Fisher on the hot seat. Can't lose too many more games this year before Texas A&M really pulls that trigger and ends up firing him probably. So worth watching this game as well. Fresno State at Wyoming. This is a game of two teams who could be Group of 5 representatives in a New Year's Six Bowl. We'll see how that all shakes out. Fresno State has defeated two Power 5 teams on the road this season. I believe that's Purdue and Arizona State. Mikey Keene has led a pass-heavy offense that averages 304.8 yards per game through the air. Defense gives up just 17 points per game, which is impressive considering how they've tested themselves with their scheduling. They right now are the favorites to be the Power 5 representative in the New Year's Six Bowls. Again, they're going to have to win this game and a lot more to kind of keep that spot. There's some other teams out there like Air Force, as it looks like this Mountain West is a pretty good conference this year. Wyoming has just one loss on the season, came at the hands of Texas on the road. Impressive wins over Texas Tech and Appalachian State, both at home. Craig Bowl has done a tremendous job getting the team's wins this season without having the best passing attack. They averaged just 142.2 yards through the air. The running game and their defense make up for it. Hosting Fresno State and are the underdogs, but they could win this, could pull off an upset, and it has big implications, as mentioned, for this Mountain West Conference, for possibly the Power 5, a representative in the New Year's Six Bowl. So there's a lot worth watching in this game. So those are the 5 things I'm watching this week in college football. Let me know which things you're watching in college football this week in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.